guys, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and that's going to be a book review. I love reading books, as you can probably tell from my bookshelf behind me. So the books I wanted to review today are both by Sara Maas, and they're Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. Throne of Glass is the first in the series and Crown of Midnight is the second. I came across this book when I was on Goodreads and I was just looking through recommended books, and this one came on and I read the plot line and I thought, yeah, that sounds really good. It's pretty much about an 18-year-old girl, and it's all, you know it's a good book and the authors put a lot of time into it when you see this. When you can see that they had the time to make a map of the land, you know it's going to be good. It's high fantasy, so it's a whole new world. It follows an 18-year-old girl called Celena, who's the world's best assassin. She got caught by accident, and now the king wants her to fight in one of his duels to see if she can become the next king's champion. So first of all, what I really like about this book is that it has a female independent lead character. Like, I know a lot of books these days do that, like you have Katniss Everdeen, the girl from Divergent, all of those who are very independent, but what I just really like about this is that she's totally badass. Like, she's totally independent, she doesn't need a man, and the fact that she's one of the best assassins, I just really like it. And I think it's just nice to have a character who doesn't start weak and then get strong at the end, but was strong the whole time, and she just gets even stronger by the end. It was just really refreshing to read something like that. What I do also like is there is romance, because I like a book with good romance. It doesn't have to be the main focus, but I like that it's present, and this has it. It was really good. It was a bit weird though, because it was a bit of a love triangle, but in the first book it was a bit confusing what was happening, because you were rooting for one character but there was another character she was with, but the love triangle makes much more sense at the end and in the second book. So the plot line as well is really good too. A lot of thought has gone into this. What I loved is that the second book wasn't a letdown. It was, I think, even better than the first one. There was things that she mentioned in the first book that I didn't think much of that linked in the second book, and I was like, whoa, I was like, oh, no way, like that was really smart. And they linked and they married each other really well, which I think is really important. The second book wasn't a letdown, it wasn't boring, I got straight back into it, and I'm just really keen for the third book. The author said she got this idea from Cinderella, and the idea if Cinderella had been running away from the ball for another reason. You know, what if Cinderella had been an assassin trained to kill the prince? Or she started thinking about the what ifs, and then Celena evolved from all these questions. There's a couple of references, like there's a masquerade ball, but about that's kind of where it stops. Like there's no, like, it's not a fantasy retelling of Cinderella at all, but you can see little things that she's put in there that she got from Cinderella. This is youth fiction, young adults, I think. I reckon you don't have to be like 13 to read this. Like, I think that, you know, kids from, I don't know, 15 to, you know, 20 could enjoy this, even older. Like, I just think these are really good. They appeal to a lot of people. It's just really good. The action was really good and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I haven't sat down for a couple of hours and just read in a while, and it takes a really good book to do that. So I just found myself sitting down and reading this book just because I needed to know what happened, and it's just a really good book. I really recommend you guys reading it. If you're into high fantasy with a bit of romance and a lot of action, this book is for you. It's very different to a lot of books I've read. Like, it reminds me of some other books that I've really enjoyed. Like, it reminded me of Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth series, even though that's adult fiction and it's much more dark. It's much darker. But yeah, these were just really good and I really enjoyed it. The cons, I don't know. Sometimes it was a little bit, I read this and I kind of agreed. The first book, she talks a lot about being the world's greatest assassin, but you don't get a lot of, it's all just, you just have to believe her because what she's saying, it's not a lot of you've seen it so you believe it. So she just keeps on talking about how she's the best, but you never really get to see her do it in practice. But towards the end of the book, you see her, you see that she's not just all talk and that she's actually good. And in the second one especially, a lot more of her skills come in. So yeah, it was just at the beginning of this book that I was like, okay, you're saying you can do all this stuff, but like, can you, the love triangle at the beginning was a little bit confusing, and I wasn't seeing how, I kind of had a sense she'd be with this one character, but it was a bit hard to see how that would happen because she was with another character. But Sara, the author, did that really well. Like, I liked that the romance spread across the two books. It wasn't just everything happened in the one book and they broke up in the second, or the romance just kind of like dwindled in the second book. Like, it was really good. It was a really nice flow, and I think that when I think of these books, I think of them as a whole thing together. My favourite out of the two is the second one. I really liked the second. I thought it was really good, and the ending was awesome. I found myself in the middle reading and I just had to know what happened, so I was like flicking through the rest of the book, like skim reading. I even read the last page, so I kind of knew what happened, but I just needed to know some of the characters I once survived. I just needed to know if the characters survived, and that's something I've only done once before, and that's kind of when like I really get emotionally invested in these books, and I just want to know if the characters I like make it. I really want to give it another con. Like, sometimes I found myself in some scenes just skim reading because I just wanted to get back to the action. But I think there was a nice blend and combination of, you know, dialogue and her figuring out stuff and action and romance. I thought it all balanced itself out really well. Another thing I really liked is that it was in multiple points of view. It was all in third person, but different characters were giving their point of view throughout the story, and I really liked that. And I really like it when authors do that. I think it was really, I thought it was really good because you get to see heaps of different characters' thought and on the same situation. It didn't happen for too long. Like, if you can see here, that's one character and then that's another character talking. So it's not like a whole chapter of the one character. So if you don't like that character, you're stuck listening to them for a chapter. It's really quick and it's really fast paced and really fast moving, which is awesome. Would I buy these books? Definitely. When the third book comes out, I want to just buy all three and put them with my other books because I like to buy the books that I really enjoyed. I borrowed these from the library, but I definitely want to have them. Am I going to read the third book? Yes. I really want to find out what happens. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy and the third book ends it, or if it's going to be it's just going to continue and make like, it's going to have 5 books or something. I don't know. We'll see. It hasn't said like the last book. I think the next book is, I don't know what the next book is, but I'll Google it and I'll put it down here and I'll put the release date as well. Yeah, so I highly recommend reading these books. I definitely give it a 4.5 out of 5. I just really thoroughly enjoyed them, and I reckon anyone who's a fan of fantasy with a bit of romance will love these books too. It has a strong female role. Definitely pick these books up. I don't think you'll regret it. And yeah, thank you, Sara J. Maas, for writing a refreshingly good, really good novel. I hope you guys liked that review. It's something different to my other videos. Hopefully I can do more in the future because I love reading and I love talking about really good books. So yeah, stick around, and I'll definitely, after I read the third book, I will definitely make a review of it to see if it, you know, lived up to these two, or to see if I enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. And yeah, I'll definitely see you guys next time. Bye. You guys know you're special when I light candles for you. Such a nice reading ambiance.